Hey there guys, it's Harry here from Photosynthesis, and today I'm here to announce the release of our latest terrarium kit. This is our beautiful large orb vase with our beautiful glass ball lid. This is going to be available in two sizes. This is the largest of the two. Let's get started with a build today and show you how easy it is to build one of these bad boys. First of all, if you're going to take off our lid, I recommend put this somewhere safe. It's going to roll away. So our terrarium kit is going to be available with a few different options online. You get to first choose your large decorative stones. These are the sandstone option, and then you have a dark granite style, depending on the vibe that you like. We're going for the sandstone today. Now, here at Photosynthesis, we specialize in closed terrariums. So that's basically a rainforest ecosystem. Comes with your terrarium soil. That's probably one of the most important ingredients for making a successful terrarium in this kind of ecosystem. We have a few different decorative stones, which we'll get into during the build. Now we have a few layers that are really important as they're going to be labeled in a certain order that we're going to be put them inside the vase. When you're thinking about that ecosystem, you have evaporation up and it builds into the water vapor, sits around 100% humidity all the time. So if you think about that humidity, it's quite a harsh ecosystem. But we can use that cycle to our advantage by building up our terrarium in a series of layers. We have our first layer, which is our drainage layer. That layer is designed to hold moisture that's not getting used as the cycle works. Inside your terrarium kit is going to be all of your layers, along with your plants, which first you have your decorative plant pack. This has got your live moss in here, and a few little decorative plants that we think about this kind of like paint at the end of your work of art. Kind of makes it all look perfect. And then we have our feature plant. Our feature plants are carefully packaged so that they can travel as safe as possible. Let's get started with our first layer. Here we have our large rocks. I call these ones the river rocks. This layer is designed to hold moisture that's not getting used as the cycle works. Think of this as kind of like the bed that holds all of the moisture. Bag number two is our charcoal. This is what we call our filter inside the terrarium. The way the charcoal works is a really loose element, and the water passes through it on the way up and back through it on the way down, and the charcoal takes impurities out of the water and also revitalizes it with all the precious carbons that it needs for that photosynthesis cycle. Our third layer is our separation layer. This layer is just designed to create a buffer between where any moisture might be sitting to then where our plants and our soil will be. If you didn't have this layer, you could have soil sitting next to something like water that can cause decay over time. So now you got those first three layers in, you basically build a terrarium. Now it's time to make some aesthetics, some details, and some design. The way I think about it is you're kind of building something out of nothing. So you're making this beautiful landscape in a glass vase. We've got a lot of aspects that come into it, like the view from the outside looking in. You've got all of these decorative layers that can work around the glass. I like to think about my terrarium, thinking about where it might be going so that it can assist my build. Maybe if I wanted to put it on a shelf, you might build it with a face that comes right down the front. Or if you wanted to build it where it was sitting in the middle of a table, you might build it like an island where you can see it from all sides. Today I'm going to be doing a face. So I'm building up my decorative layers just around the back here. One of my favorite decorations in the terrarium is sand. Sand creates this beautiful natural effect. We've got this beach. Now I'm going to be opening our terrarium soil, making a bit of a home for my plants. My goal with building this little work of art is to try to get the soil right in the center as opposed to against the glass. It's quite a messy activity. You got to just dig in and have fun. Now it's time to plant our feature plant. This guy's in what's called nursery grade soil. This soil is usually designed to grow plants as fast as possible, Sometimes it's got a lot of fertilizer. We don't really know if it's going to be suitable for this ecosystem. What I recommend, using a bowl as a little catching device, we're going to separate our soil from our root system. This is a beautiful Ficus elastica burgundy. These guys get these nice dark, deep leaves. Get quite thorough in here. Plants love getting a little bit of a shake up. What's happening is the plant's going, ah, something's attacking me, and it goes into a defense mechanism where it starts to grow. That's pretty much perfect. And then now, finding a nice spot at the top of my mountain. Now usually I'll just put it in, let it fall over, and then I get more soil to cover the roots, stabilize it. Slightly off center, I kind of like it. And now we're getting into some more decorative stones. I find that the little pink stones make a nice little cluster here and there when they're paired up next to the black ones. Now when you're booking online, you get a choice of your color of your staircase. We're using the white stairs. There's also a gray option. Starting from the bottom, working your way up. You got to think about each one of these little stairs as a centimeter. So you need your mountain to be at least, like say if you wanted 3 stairs, you need your mountain to be 3 centimeters. Here we're going for about 5. Just keep going. Now let's get into some decorative plants. And here we have our live moss. The live moss works really well when you rip it up, try to extend it. You can get a lot out of a little clump, and it really starts to make the whole terrarium become alive. So the moss loves light, and it also loves moisture. We get a lot of people that say, can I put it on the rocks? Will it grow? Can I put it sort of on the sand? The best place to put the moss is on top of some soil. The soil is what's going to be holding majority of the moisture, and it's usually the focal point that's going to catch a lot of light as well. This is a Ficus pumila. These guys grow quite strong. I like to put them next to a rock where they can climb up. And then our decorative plants, we're using Photonias. Got a few different varieties. When you grab them out, they have their little root system just like this. They just need to be touching some soil and they're going to grow amazing. I like to pair mine either side of the staircase. Now when I've got all of my decorative plants in, I've got my moss in, it's time to do those final touches to make it all look amazing. Little cluster of rocks here and there. I'll spruce up with my brush. Little final touches. Now, it's time to give your terrarium a little bit of a spruce up, and then we're going to be giving it a drink. So watering your terrarium is the part that brings all of the life and all of the death. So overwatering a terrarium is the biggest cause of them to fail. So you've got to be really careful with how much water you're putting in because it can very easily become an imbalance. All the water that goes in there hasn't got anywhere to go. It's going to start to build and work around in a cycle. So what I'm going to be doing is giving it a light spray on the outside, giving it a spruce up, and then we're going to give it a clean on the inside. So a little bit of water really helps. Just want to be careful of your plants. So now it's time to give the terrarium a drink. So I recommend giving it a light spray on the top and then spraying against the glass. I'm going to be giving this 3 sprays of water today. This is quite a strong sprayer. So just trying to limit how much water you're putting in so that you're not overdoing it. So just a light spray across the top and then 2 sprays against the glass. Our big indicators once we've got our lid on for our terrarium working and then also whether it's overwatered or underwatered is watching our moisture level here. So we've got our condensation on the glass. That's a really great indicator that everything's working, everything's doing its job, but it's not the only indicator. Our terrarium gets evaporation up, condensation on the glass, and it works its way down. So what we want to be looking at is along our layers around the edge, you'll get small droplets that'll be up against the rocks here. So the rocks will have a little bit of moisture pressed up against the glass. You'll see it like a little bit shiny. That's a great indicator that everything is perfect. The water's down in the layers, down where the plants can use it. When that moisture starts to go away first, and then your condensation. The condensation being an indicator of moisture. If there's no condensation, there's technically no moisture inside your terrarium. So it's not the best indicator for knowing when it's time for watering. I like to look around the edge. If that starts to go away a little bit, I give it a couple of sprays. I'm topping the moisture level up as opposed to just replacing it altogether. I've finished my build. Looks great, doesn't it? Now, no terrarium is complete without a photosynthesis terrarium cleaner. You can get yours online as an upgrade to your terrarium kit. These are great for cleaning the glass on the inside and the outside without having to take off your lid. Pretty happy with my build here. What do you think? You can have yours today just by heading to photosynthesis.com.au and head to DIY Terrarium Kits. This is available in 2 sizes, and this is the largest size.